make a start. So here we go. We're live. How you doing, everyone? So welcome, and as per normal, we're joined by Sam. So hello, Sam.
Howdy, how's everyone?
We've got also Charlie,
Hello again.
Fraser,
Hiya.
and Chris. That's me. I'm the only one brave enough to show my face for some reason. But how's everyone doing today? How we all going?
Good.
Yeah, going well.
Had some exciting. Had an exciting week, or productive week. Is that the better way to put it?
Productive, exciting. I guess they're not always mutually exclusive.
I like productive. I like to have a productive week. Is that just me?
Yeah, no, I think I prefer a bit of, I don't know, I could go week to week. Productive and then excitement, one on, one off.
Nice balance.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure that exciting and productive do work together that well. Productive for me kind of tends to be like putting one foot in front of the other and doing stuff, and exciting is more like not working. Oh, Crash Test Butter's here. G'day, Crash Test Butter.
See you again.
we should. I haven't said hello yet. Hi. Yes. So yeah. So it's been an exciting week. Actually, one of the exciting was I was looking at a couple of games just that have come out recently. The Borderlands 4 is one of them, at a price at $109, I think, in Australia. 109, but not just that. I looked, but there's also the other one I was looking at, Silent Hills F. I'm not sure what Silent Hills F means. That's 116. What's going on with the price of games, guys? What the hell is happening?
Yeah, isn't it supposed to be, everyone's moving to the new Unreal Engine, so it's cheaper and quicker to make games?
Right. Sounds like some cynicism there.
Just a little. Crash
Anyone
Test Butter
else?
said frames than dollars, and I think I agree with him.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Fraser, I know you've been playing the latest. Oh goodness me, what's the game again?
Silksong?
Sorry,
Silksong?
Silksong, of course, Silksong.
Yeah.
Now I think they got in
It's-
trouble for not charging over $100, didn't they? How much is that game?
How much was it? Like 30, I think. 30 Aussie dollars. Potentially.
I think they actually charged
Yeah.
20 US. People got them. 20 euros over in Euroland, $20 in the US, $30 here because we're spending Australian pesos. But they got in trouble. I was surprised. Like at a time,
Trouble for who?
there was backlash. People were saying that they were undermining the price of indie games by only charging $20 US.
Yeah. I heard bits of that. I heard a lot of it mostly as satire, people making fun of them. I think it's they're like, before doing game stuff, I was looking at getting into like freelance photography, and there's a big issue there where people will undercharge and sort of undermine the value of the profession. I think it's kind of hard to one-to-one compare that to a game release. And I don't know. It seems like, Team Cherry kind of knows how much hype they've had for the game, knows they're going to have a really big audience ready to buy it as soon as it releases.
Yeah.
Like, if you do the marketing analysis on it, it makes sense to price it at a competitive price because they know they're going to get a huge return.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough. It's also not like, like, if you're selling a photography package, you can kind of only sell one of those to a person for a specific event. You don't typically have you don't buy 5 photography packages for one wedding. So it's a lot easier to see how that undermines it there. But if you're talking about games, it's like, well, you're not selling the same game. It's not someone else trying to sell Silksong for $40 or $30. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They could have charged more because, of course, then there's Steam sales when, so I mean, they could have charged 30 or 40. And then the Steam sales come up and it's 20. So
That's true.
that
It is a
that's
business strategy, though. I think, like just as you were saying, that they knew their audience was big already, and the hype
Yeah.
was pretty huge. And I for one, I always think that's a good strategy for businesses to do, whether you're undercutting the value of your industry or not. If things are more affordable, people are more likely to buy. Even if it's just a few more dollars. Sometimes,
absolutely.
I know that the $30 price point is pretty low here in Australia for a game, but it's something that I look at it and go, $30. Oh, I should just grab it because I'll play that soon. Versus these other games I look at that are 60 plus to up to 120, and I
Yeah.
just go, nah, not at all.
I definitely won't be buying Silent Hills F at $116. No, I won't be buying Borderlands either. I'll wait 12 months or 18 months until it goes down to 50 or something. So get the Steam sales.
if we look back a couple months, Chris, like I still haven't bought FBC Firebreak because it was too expensive. As much as I wanted to play it, even through all of the sort of tumultuous launch, like it's too expensive.
How much is it now? Is it still 50
I'm
something?
just trying to pull it up. Yeah, 55 still.
Right.
Like that's for a mixed on launch mixed review, that's just too much. But if it was 30, then it'd be, I'm like, well, it might not be, the flashiest game, but it's got story and elements that I want to check out. So,
Yeah, and it's from a developer that you follow pretty closely, yeah?
Yeah.
What about you, Sam? What are your thoughts on prices of games? What are you planning to charge for your games?
I'm probably on the same boat as like charging 30 to 40 because, well, for us there's that cost of living which is biting quite deeply, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean if you price yourself too high, you're not going to get much of an audience.
Potentially,
Yeah.
for sure. Absolutely. So, of course, both Sam and Fraser live in Adelaide, which is where Team Cherry are from. So perhaps you guys, when you bump into them next time, because Adelaide's obviously a small place, so no doubt you'll bump into them.
Like
Ask them. Ask them.
Yeah, when I go to Woolies, I'll see if they're there.
there's a thread I could potentially pull if I wanted to really hunt them down, but I don't think I will.
Actually, I mean, if they're keen to come on and talk about the design of Hollow Knight, I mean, that would be fantastic. Yeah, and then why they charge so little for it. What's that?
No harm in tugging a thread.
Yeah, sure. I mean, as I said, if you bump into them, down the cafe or grabbing a coffee or going and buying your groceries, just say, hey, come and have a chat with us.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Anyway,
I'll keep my eyes peeled.
yeah, do that. Yeah. So we're going to talk about, this is sort of something I saw the other day and I thought was quite interesting. This is the concept of originality in game design. So there was this, hang on, let me just, so people can actually see it. This was something I saw on Reddit. I thought, oh, it's kind of interesting. So this person, I don't know who it was, whether it was a guy or a girl or whatever, but I keep accidentally recreating already existing games when I try to be original, even making things I've never seen before. So I'll put the link down there as well, so people can check it out if they want to. I'm kind of interested. Like, this kind of seems like you can't even create anything original. To me, there's something wrong with this statement. I don't know the vibe of the statement. There's something kind of wrong with it. I'm interested to know what you guys think.
Yeah, well, it's like, to me, that immediately jumps to mind is like that whole music paradox, right? Like, the last few years, some of the top musicians of the world have been like, I think suing or something, at least calling each other out about stealing songs and stuff like that. But if you think about it, there's a finite amount of notes. There's a finite amount of chords. There's so much music in the world. Things are just going to start repeat, whether you've heard it or not. And maybe we're hitting that boiling point where there's so many people making games and so many ideas. I wouldn't say that that's it totally, but I do think that there's like a big sort of creative thought path that a lot lot of us tap into that, you know, similarities sort of line up when we're trying to think of, you know, something that's new or undone.
I think going further on that is sort of, you take a lot of inspiration from the stuff that you listen to. So it might also be a product with, you know, designing games where if you play one genre of games a lot, you might be more predisposed to, you know, rehashing the ideas that you come across.
Absolutely, yeah. Charlie, just getting a message that you're very quiet on stream. Are you able to turn your? Yeah, I tried to turn you up here. Not sure
Yeah,
what
I'll
made
turn the
difference.
input up until.
That's good.
Oh,
That sounds good.
is that a
to
bit
me.
better? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm starting to peak on my side.
Yeah,
Very good.
that's-
Okay, cool.
That's good. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Fraser, any particular thoughts?
I mean, I feel like it's one of the oldest creative problems that we hear about, right? Is like accidentally recreating things. Well, maybe not the oldest, but you know, something that became much more noticeable and much more prevalent once, you know, we globalized more and were able to access creative works from, you know, all over the globe. It feels like if you're getting stuck on it, you're maybe not aware enough of the sort of the tricks and the techniques that you can use to try and create, or you know, adjust your project to make it more original or less similar to the things that you've identified, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's sort of go into this. So, I mean, obviously, there's what's originality is a question that just shouts. That's basically okay. We're talking about originality. Yeah, I mean, how do you define originality, particularly in games and game design? Any thoughts on that? I mean, there's a thing here: mechanics, narrative, aesthetics, something else. I mean, what makes?
Yeah. Well, I think it definitely needs to be broken down into things like, you know, people iterate on other ideas and make it original by putting their own, you know, flair into it, by changing a few little things. Like I still view that as being like originality, you know, in the process, whether it's built on an old idea or not. I guess it's really, where do we draw the line on what's truly original and what's not? Like, does it need new mechanics, new narrative, new aesthetics in every single thing to be truly original? Don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
Anyone
if
else?
truly original is something we could ever reach, right? Like, I've always been very much under the impression that you're always building off of something, whether it's conscious or subconscious, though.
Sure.
Is,
Yeah.
you know, sort of where you're at.
Mm.
And just being aware of, like I said, you know, you can't make something out of nothing, but you can definitely add and add and add and mix and multiply. You know, there are ways to change things. There's not really ways to make anything from nothing.
Sam, any thoughts?
Mostly been covered, but it sort of, it really does come down to like artistry, and like if you have an art team that sort of borrows inspiration from somewhere else, but they haven't really mixed it up too much, it could come across as a transplant of, you know, you're taking one idea and you're not really adjusting it for your own idea. It's a bit like sampling with the music scene. It comes up quite frequently.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We can go to let's think about the extremes. So if we think of complete unoriginality, that's basically just taking somebody else's game and recreating it, isn't it? So you just take, you know, I mean, any particular game, and you just basically copy it. You get the mechanics exactly the same, the art's exactly the same.
This is
all that
the
sort of stuff.
Roblox approach, right?
I mean, well, what I mean, there's you go onto Steam, you'll find a whole lot of these cookie cutter games.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of, you know, someone's a real, you know, a fan. Look, I mean, you know, on the positive side, someone's a real fan of, say, a particular first person shooter. They want to go and make that shooter, you know, their own. And maybe they're not that creative or what have you, or they're just sort of starting out, and they make something which is pretty obviously almost like a carbon copy of another game. So that's one extreme. Do we agree?
Yeah.
So that's
I agree.
complete non-originality. That's definitely not original. The other extreme, I would say, is a completely new genre. So if we think about the beginning of first-person 3D games, Castle Wolfenstein was obviously, was a return from Castle Wolfenstein was one of the first, 3D or 2.5D first-person games, shooter games, to exist. So I think that's the other end of the spectrum. We'd never seen anything like that before. So there's two ends of the spectrum for originality. One very much not original, the other one completely original.
And I feel like one of those ends kind of relies on technology. Like the reason that, the Wolfenstein, the 3D was first of its kind is because technology was able to, accommodate it.
Yeah. And you had the wizardry of John Carmack, who was amazing at, at getting, writing optimized code. So, absolutely. Anyone else got thoughts on that?
I think there's a weird bit for me with like that the end you were talking about, where somebody copies a game one for one, but they're just not very creative.
Yeah.
Where I feel like the only times I see true rip-offs is when there is a motive, usually financial. Where it's like, oh, this game isn't available in this market, or I can rip off this game and undercut it. I feel like if somebody is doing it because they like the game in some capacity, they're going to make changes to it. It still might be like, this is basically like a carbon copy, but I think if it's motivated by that sort of enjoyment or interest, you will see some creative decisions in there. They just might not be, legally distinct enough.
Yeah. I feel like we saw that a bit with the release of Breath of the Wild. I feel like that formula of what Zelda took for the open world got copied quite a bit in the next few years. The first that comes to mind is that the one that Ubisoft did about the Greek mythology. Very much like you run around a big world, you have wings to fly, you go like it's very much just like a copy paste there of Zelda. And there was another one that got caught up for, was it Genshin Impact? People were like, when it was being released, does anyone remember that? They were like, slamming it for being a Zelda copy. But like, so that's like the big companies doing their own takes on it. But I think within each of those games, enough originality sort of prevails. But there is underlying mechanics that are very similar.
What about, okay, sorry, Sam, you go ahead.
On the flip side, we have things like Palworld, who take inspiration from Pokemon, but sort of expand on the mechanics in such a way that makes it, original.
And look where that got him.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't who were they ripping off?
Nintendo.
Allegedly.
Well, that's the one company you want to avoid going anywhere near, isn't it? I mean, Nintendo are just the litigious arm of the games industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to go anywhere near that. So let me throw another hypothetical. So we've looked at the two extremes. So what about let me think of another one where, okay, I've got a game, I've got the code, I've got the mechanics, which has been really successful, and then what I do is I reskin it. Don't make pretty much no changes to the code, no changes to the gameplay. Maybe I turn a game that's set in, say, a medieval past or whatever into a sort of science fiction kind of game. I mean, is that original?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I was just thinking, as we're like sort of, I guess, about to move on from defining originality topic, I was like, I think original for me is mechanically. It needs to be a bit different mechanically, because if you present a game with all the same systems and mechanics, but only the art is different, I'm not going to say that that's original at all. And it's funny that I've just realized now that that's where I draw the line. Whereas when I view art on its own, and it's very original in most aspects, but combined in a game scene, I feel like that's where I go. If you're just changing assets, then nah, not original.
Mm.
I feel a little called out as a Yakuza fan. We were talking about Yakuza just before we went live. One of the things I've been told and kind of am excited for with the Yakuza series is that they do some of the games are set in like I think like Edo period Japan, and so the mechanics are still. And the other thing with a lot of the Yakuza games is the mechanics will be very similar, but they do add like they will expand, they'll add more mini games, tweak mechanics, but like the core can be really, really similar from game to game. And then yeah, there are these certain entries where what they do is essentially go back in time. It's still the same characters and the same voice actors, but they're playing characters. It's like a really weird in-universe play essentially. And so if you were to like put it down on paper, kind of the only things that are different are some of the art assets and the narrative. But like
Yeah.
a lot of the core systems are the same, even to the point where they're using the same characters, names and all. You just or maybe not names necessarily, but voice actors and all. So for me,
Yeah.
it's like I think like we have legal concerns with using somebody else's code one for one, which I can understand, but like artistically, the idea of remixing in that way, I feel I personally find it's far more grey.
But like they're all made from the same company, right? Like it's all within the like that's just an iterative process to me. They're riffing with their own things, being like, our systems are nice, let's play with the art and see what the fans like. To me, that's totally okay, which is the opposite of, what I just said. But I guess I didn't consider, the iteration through a studio's, intellectual property. But I feel like if it's between studios, yeah.
Yeah.
Sam, any thoughts?
I'll be right back. Sorry.
Yep, done, no problem. Sam, any thoughts?
I was going a bit more abstract with, transplanting like first-person mechanics from one game to another. And if you did like a full-on copy-paste of the code, you're pretty much using the same functions and formulas that drive it all. So apart from adjusting speed and like head bob and different sort of variables that you can mess around with, it's one of those tricky ones.
So in that light, actually, an interesting example would be, if you remember back to I don't know whether you guys are old enough, but 2017 there was a little game called PUBG, which came from the Battle Royale. There was a whole lot of game modes that were created for things like Rust and H1Z1. So there's a there's this sort of, for a number of years, you had these sort of add-ons which gave you that battle royale for those. And then the guys who did that obviously honed the gameplay during that time, and then they created PUBG. So PUBG they did that in the Unreal Engine before this was Unreal Engine 4, of course, before Unreal Engine became Unreal Engine 5 and everything. And they worked actually very closely with Epic Games when they were doing this. And they came up with PUBG. And it was very successful, amazingly successful. This was obviously the first big Battle Royale game. And then, well, what happened? Well, Epic Games had this little game called Fortnite, which originally, what was it called? Was Fortnite something or other else? And you had to pay for it, which I did. I paid for it. It was garbage. Didn't work. And then, the guys from Epic who'd been talking to the PUBG developers and helping them develop their game, PUBG, the Battle Royale. PUBG developers came up with a lovely little game called Fortnite, the Battle Royale version of Fortnite. And, well, I mean, yeah. Any thoughts? I mean, originality? Same mechanics? Thoughts?
Similar mechanics, different art style. It's like different sort of target audience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It is a hard one.
Yeah.
Sorry, were you still saying something, Sam? I sort of just cut you off. I feel like.
No, I sort of ran out. I was having thoughts on like the formulaic nature of some of that genre,
Mm.
because it
And
seems like one where we've had lots of different companies, riff off the same idea to sort of diminishing returns.
Fraser.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm really trying to put into words how little stock I put into the idea of originality. But in
Oh,
terms of
okay.
battle royale, I think like from what I remember, PUBG was very much like the 100 players, the closing ring in the sort of really vast map. But if I think about Fortnite, and the big difference is the team size and the financial support, but I can think about how much they've added to it to change up the gameplay. Like any genre, some games will sort of stagnate and fit very strictly into it, and some games will really push the bounds and start, breaking it apart and sort of remixing the genre as a whole.
I think the word you've used there, genre, is probably one of the keys. PUBG kind of created the genre, and then so in a way, I mean, that was very original. It definitely was an original idea. It had come from somewhere. It had a history, and they had obviously been working on it over time. But it definitely it was genre defining, the battle royale sort of thing. Have you guys seen the movie Battle Royale, the old Japanese
Japanese one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great movie. I
Is
love
that,
it.
that was one of the influences for it, was it?
Oh
Is
yeah,
that
oh
what you're saying?
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
no, it was definitely an influence. In fact, the first
I feel like that
version.
influenced them a lot.
Oh, the first version was the same characters. You can actually identify the
Oh,
characters from the
okay.
movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously, later they actually went and they expanded that because the character, getting skins for characters, became a big thing. But no, the first ones, that Japanese movie from, was it 2001 or something? It's a great movie.
Yeah,
I've
early
seen it.
days.
So it's a kind of a B grade movie. So when I say great,
Yeah.
it's a great, but those B grade movies are sometimes really good. Like it's one of those. But yeah, I mean they created the genre, which is interesting, and then obviously Epic Games was in a position where they could really easily just go and say, "Oh, that looks really good. We're going to take that. Thank you very much," and they did. So originality. I mean, we're talking about genres and everything, and what is originality? This is a huge.
Yeah. Well,
huge
how
question.
much weight do we give to originality then? I guess like as we're talking, the picture painting for me is more so like how much of your own sort of flair or the studio's, flair do they put on? Because like you're saying, the genres, they all exist already. It's just like how you remix it and what your interpretation of it is probably what makes them special more so than the pure originality of their ideas.
Sam, any thoughts?
It's very, very much in line with what's been said. Like in Fortnite's case, they've got. I played a version of it late last year, which was Lego Fortnite, where it became more of a sandbox survival building thing, similar to Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
So they've really taken, the base idea of a battle royale, and they've used that medium to experiment with other ideas and genres as well, which is, it does really set it apart from just, having one battle royale game mode in a game to having something that you can get together with friends and, decide to do something different.
Good point. And I think that's a really, that's probably the difference between, someone or a company who's only interested in just sponging off other people's ideas, and someone or a company that's actually interested in taking it sort of further. Fraser, do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I mean I think that's covered it quite well. I'm just stuck on if I'm not going to use originality to describe sort of these games and these ideas, what word do I use to describe it instead? Honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And
What
I've got
about what
nothing good-
Charlie? What about what Charlie was saying?
Run that by me again. Sorry.
What
was
about what
saying-
Charlie was saying? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was saying that. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, go
remember?
ahead, please.
Oh, just that like, it's more about the studio's sort of personality or
Right.
flair that they put into the genres themselves. You know, creating sort of originality through the already created genres and mechanics.
For sure. I think that's definitely like a very strong and well-known sort of way that things are pushed and changed. And I guess to a certain extent, if you boil it down, it's maybe the only way that things are changed, right? It has to
Yeah.
be taken on by somebody new, or at the very least, somebody, it could be the same person but at a different time. And so that inherently is what changes it. But yeah, originality I just feel like is an odd word to apply to creative endeavors.
And that might be why whoever was talking about this, maybe they've got the point wrong. Because like you're saying, recreating already existing games, like it's really hard. You have to put a lot of effort in to recreate a game. Like you can't just go and recreate a game. You have to actually study that friggin' game, and you have to really put effort in to get the mechanics the same, the artwork the same, the sound the same. Like it takes a lot of work. That's not an easy thing to do. So I have a feeling maybe this person who did this wasn't very experienced, perhaps, and they had maybe a little bit of a wrong idea about what they were supposed to be doing. They were trying to get something like genre defining, which is very rare. You very rarely have that kind of, that there's a handful of those throughout the whole industry.
Yeah. You're not coming out of the gate and creating a new genre.
It's pretty
Well,
rare.
maybe you are, but
I feel
It's
like it's
pretty
like-
rare.
kind of only happen afterwards, right? Like, you kind of need to put out the game. You kind of need to have this critical mass of people wanting more of the same for it to then become like a genre thing.
Sure.
Right? I feel like that's how like Souls-like has become a genre, or Metroidvania has
Yep.
become a genre, because it's people, playing a game and being like, oh, this is the way they've combined all these mechanics. It's really fun. I want more games like this.
Yeah.
And so then that's when it's like, oh, well, now that there are more games like PUBG, we have the Battle Royale genre.
Yeah. Yeah. Interestingly enough, I was just thinking about the Epic, the original sort of Epic games as well. So there was Unreal Tournament. And I'm just kind of thinking, because originally we had Doom. I think it was Doom. And then you could play Doom like online, Doom like deathmatch sort of came out of that. And it's kind of like Epic kind of stole that that idea as well, which is, I'm just thinking back to it. I'm like, oh yeah, because I used to love playing. Was it just Doom? I think. Am I thinking of the right
Quake?
games? Oh, Quake 3 Arena.
Quake,
I mean, just great games when they first came out. Again, genre defining, and then Tim Sweeney. Tim Sweeney comes along. Are Epic like the Apple of games? Do they just sort of jump in and, oh, that's a great idea, let's steal that one? But they did it better. Look, the thing is, I really enjoyed the Unreal Tournament games. They had a better feel than like Doom 3. Sorry, Quake. I mean, Doom. I think Doom was the original. Doom 2 Online was like the original online first-person PvP shooter. And then you had Quake 3 Arena. That was also from id. And then you had the Quake 3 Arena and stuff come through, and those. But I felt that Unreal did it really well. So Unreal Tournament was they actually did it better than the original. It just had better controls and everything.
yeah, it's been a long time since I played it, but I do remember feeling exactly the same thing. Because I remember I played a bit of Quake on the old family PC, and then a friend had Unreal Tournament, and it was just it was I don't know, smoother, something more funner
Smoother.
about it. Something
Smoother.
nicer. Yeah.
That's what I
I
would.
think that's
I would
what
say.
happens though, right? Like that first game, like Quake in that example, it's got all these rough edges because it's you know it's less of the genre itself and more of all of the pieces laid out on the table to make the genre. So then, kind of the next person, as long as they can see all those pieces, they can put them together in a tighter way. And so, I don't know. I'm just glad that there seems to be enough of that sort of perspective that the genre is usually pushed back a little bit. You know, like it's we don't see like Fortnite isn't. Well, I was going to say Fortnite's not like the battle royale game, but I suppose to most, especially casual players, it probably is. It's only more so for like us really deep in the industry and thinking about these things where we go, well, no, of course it was PUBG, and Fortnite took all the elements from there. But
It's just the iterative process of design, isn't it? And the and games, which is why it's so important not to patent basic ideas. Nintendo.
Nintendo, yeah, yes. The
But we won't get into that. I feel like that's a big conversation as well.
The evil entity of the games industry. Yes, we won't get into that. No, let's not. I think we're probably taking this conversation as far as we can. Yeah. So, anyone got any final thoughts on originality? I mean, I think personally, it's making something that is your own, that comes from you. Even if it's it's everything's sort of within a genre, so there's limits to what you can call originality. But if it's your own, if you've made it your own, that's the line for me.
Yeah, I agree. Crash Test Butters just said that's why they really liked it when VR became affordable, because sort of new constraints boost innovation, and I think I agree. I agree with that, and that's kind of like in line with what I said earlier with the technology being able to, being able to accommodate sort of new ideas and that, and VR is still a really new frontier with a lot of interesting ideas being put into it because it's a different medium. So maybe we do just need big tech changes to have like pure originality.
Any other thoughts? Yeah.
Yeah, I like what you said. I like that angle of if you're putting your own creative spin on something, then that's sort of the most you'd need to do. Even with like these tech changes, I feel like it's just opening the doors to thoughts that people have had before. And we keep using sort of the jump to 3D first-person shooters, but it's like all of the original mechanics for those are built off of 2D things or films. There's lots of influences taken from other spaces, and technology lets it express itself in games. But yeah, I think my big thing is like without capital, the need for a capital return on video games, I think we'd be less sort of obsessed with originality and more focused on how people can make things, can express themselves through existing ideas and change them as they sort of, it gets passed from one person to the next.
Cool.
I just had a random memory of, I think in high school I played this experimental tech demo called Facade, which used you typed in what you wanted your character to say, and that was, I think, essentially quite different from the usual sort of chatbots that you had online at the time, and what I was playing on Steam. It was quite, but that was more of a demonstration of early language modeling. I'm not sure why it came to mind, but it was just a really weird experience. But it had some.
Isn't that like a technological innovation?
Yeah, it just had this really nice charm about it.
Well, that sounds like an original idea for, original mechanic. Like, I don't really know many games that you type in what you want to say,
That's funny. I
Yeah.
always remember Facade as being like the choose your own adventure novel, but in a game form.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. So there's originality. We've sorted that all out. We
Yeah,
know that now.
job done. We don't need.
Fantastic.
We can all put our pens down now.
We know what originality is all about. Yeah,
You're welcome.
but making it your own. I think that's what we're talking about. Now, talking of originality, we're also going to be looking at some other games from. Well, does someone else want to introduce this one? What are we looking at now?
Yeah, well, I guess I'll be running them, so I'll talk about them real quick. I guess we just wanted to really have a look at some of the games that were, what were they? They're the winners to the Australian Screen funding, and just see the sort of the caliber and quality of their demos, and what it sort of takes to get a grant.
So, are you going to share your screen?
Yes, I will. I'm just setting up my thing. Share
Cool.
screen. Number 1. Share the audio too. Let me know when you can see it.
So we're looking at Steam.
Yes, so there's 2 on Steam, and there's one that I have in a folder called Dungeon Breaker. And I think if time allows, we'll do the 3rd one, but I'm interested in doing these 2. This is Nullstar Solus, which was, I think, a winner from the last draw, maybe, not the most recent one.
So remind us again, like what is it about these games that why we're looking at them? Like,
well, for me, I'm just really interested in like the quality of some of these games, who are going the funding route of public arts funding. And then
so they've all got
just
grants from Screen Australia, yeah.
yes, exactly.
So that's one of the reasons to kind of look at. Like for me, I'm interested to look at what sort of games are being funded. Now, I guess this can be useful if you are applying for fund or thinking about applying for funding, to see whether whether the sort of game that you're making perhaps is going to fit into that sort of framework. And also number 2, the sort of level, like what level are they looking for in this funding? And of course, if people don't know, Fraser has just sort of done a grant application as well. So this is part of the reason we're looking at this.
I got jump scared by an email yesterday from
Ooh.
to let me know that I guess we submitted everything appropriately, so it's moving on to assessment.
Yes, you can count to 10. Well done. Congratulations. Okay. Well, it's good to. What were they said otherwise? Oh, you didn't.
Yeah, last time when we applied previously, I think we had applied as a partnership, and that wasn't allowed. So they emailed us and were like, "Hey, we've reopened it. Can you submit it very specifically based on the criteria there?" So we then had to open up a sole trader to apply with. So, but yeah, this time we were a bit more careful. We knew, had better idea of what was needed. So I guess they were happy.
Nice. So you've heard from them. You managed to get through the. Yes, you have
the legal side of it. So now it's just creative merit, I suppose.
Okay, nice. So well, you're going to keep us up to date, I'm sure.
Yes.
Cool. So all right. So Charlie, do you want to?
Awesome. Yeah. Well, this is. I think just on that note as well with your application phrase as well is, I've noticed that the range of projects that have been accepted, can be in that early development idea phase to like something like this one that seems to be, not out yet, but I've had a little look at the demo, and it seems very, put together at least for now. So.
Yeah, I think the biggest sort of restrictor on it, I think, is a max budget of 500,000.
Wow.
I believe was sort of the major restrictor. So otherwise, yeah, it's really open to.
Sorry, is that the budget or is that the funding amount?
The max funding for the Games Production Fund is 100,000, but it's only applicable to games with a budget of up to 500,000.
So maximum of 20% of the full budget, basically.
Yeah.
100,000 out of 500.
But yeah,
Okay.
otherwise they're like you said, as you've noticed if you look through, they're really quite open to all sorts of games, all sorts of team sizes. As long as you can sort of convince them that it's going to work and the money will be useful, then
Oh, well, with that, this one that I found is called Nullstar Solace. It's pretty far along their development cycle. I'm pretty sure I read on their page it's coming out at the end of this year. No, we're still 2025. It'll be coming out 2026. But yeah, I don't know a lot about it. I'll read the thing out. You're a corporate scavenger drone and you're sent to rip apart decaying corpse of a dying world. From what I gather, it's pretty sort of I've lost the word I was going to say. Oh, I need a controller.
Do you?
Apparently. This game needs a controller for the best experience.
That's
I'll
only the
plug
best
that in.
experience. You can have the second best experience.
I don't need the best experience.
Ah. So one thing I'm interested in here, because one of the things that I do see quite often with games that are, I said it's interesting. Screen Tasmania, Tasmanian government, Australian
Yeah,
government.
there we go.
Screen
So they've got all
Australia,
their things there.
to be played with a controller. Oh dear, you don't have a controller?
No, I do. Plugged in.
Nice. Quite often they are looking for like Australian specific kind of types of games. This one to me doesn't look necessarily culturally specific, which is
Yeah,
quite interesting to
no.
see.
Which I thought was interesting too, because they all do sort of fit that mixed pot of Australian culture. Can you guys hear the volume
Yeah,
too much, or yep, leave it at that.
seems good. Yeah.
All right. So already it feels pretty like a pretty solid vertical slice
Mm-hmm.
demo. What's going on? All right, I guess I just selected the core there. So we got levels to choose from. Is it going to tell me how to play? Who knows? Let's just get in.
I guess those are different drone bodies.
So select our drones. They've got different things. Speed, acceleration, durability. Speed, acceleration, durability. Let's just go the jack of all trades one.
The graphics reminds me of some games that I spent too many hours on when I was studying
Yeah.
back in university. Yes, on tabletop game. Not table. I mean, well, not tabletop games. What do you call them? Arcade games. Actually,
Yeah.
it actually looks very much the same. Quite retro
Oh, that
in that
text is
respect.
going way too fast. Oh god, okay. The tutorial's way too fast for me.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to distract you. I feel like this is.
So why can't I go that way now?
Xbox was quite busy.
Feel free to practice controls. I definitely need to practice controls. I can go up, down, right, but I can't go left.
Yeah, it's. Oh,
Oh wait. Oh, so it's like a defense. You can turn on your blasters or thrusters off and on, and it looks like they might become like shields or something. I don't really understand how that's beneficial.
and so the face buttons are what's turning on and off the corresponding thruster.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So if I hit B, it'll turn off my right
Oh.
thruster, which would shoot me. Yeah, right. Hang on. Yeah. And then the triggers sort of suspend me in the air.
Ah.
Okay. Let's see what happens. Next level.
It's interesting. This is not what I had expected from the sort of logline and the artwork.
Yeah. Well, it was sort of, as I went through them, it was the most fleshed out sort of idea, biggest Steam page and demo available. So I was like, oh, it'd be interesting to try it out.
Mm.
And my goal here, my goal is to collect these. So it's like,
Yeah, they very much look like an enemy with that repeating pattern.
yeah. I guess, oh, we're scavenging. That's right.
And you've got times to beat for each level as well. Oh, there you go. That looks like
The red
hazards.
things.
Oh,
Is that like, okay.
What
Why
what
can't
is
I get in
that?
there? I feel like they're going to explode. I want to test something. If I
yeah.
turn off that thruster, no, it's just going to blow me up. I don't understand why I can turn off the thrusters.
Yeah.
Uh,
Maybe that'll become relevant
uh,
in a bit. But so I guess this is like a sort of like a speedrun game, right? It's all time.
it
Time
feels
lapse.
like it, doesn't it? It's small, tiny little levels. Very, you got your timer there. Is that, yeah, right.
Mhm.
The timer is on the character itself, so they want you to be very aware of how long you're taking.
Yeah.
So is this
Well,
like Super Meat Boy esque?
That's
That's
I was feeling that. Yeah, that looks like the
Mm.
difficulty's ramping up. I've got just movement controls, short little things.
Do you mind jumping into one of those electric walls? I assume
Yeah.
that's going to insta kill you, but
Yeah, it
Yeah.
feels like
Yes,
that's the difficulty curve. Is everything's an instant kill.
That's
so
right.
yeah, definitely Meat Boy in that sense.
Oh god,
That sort of hard reset.
I'm probably not going to get too far in this one, but yeah, they're
Yeah, no, this
definitely
is,
aiming for that hardcore difficulty. No save. Well, obviously the level's the save, but okay.
In terms of a funding application, this does feel like a very sort of classic, strong contender, right? It's like you've got
Yeah,
complex
it feels
sort of
safe,
yeah. It's like
In that-
complex core controls. You've got an art style established, and so then it's like, well, we just need time to come up with more levels and work on the difficulty curve.
Yeah, and
This-
you've got the like the researched history of the genre being, successful with games like this, quite successful in the industry already. So the research is already there. Oops.
Isn't to me this is the sort of game that a non-gamer thinks of when they hear the thing game.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude,
and
those games.
yeah,
exist.
oh yeah. I mean, and I'm also thinking Screen Australia, rather like who are traditionally funding film and television, and I'm wondering whether someone just said, "Hey, we better give some money to the games industry," and they thought, because like to me this is fine, but it's fine. I mean, to me there's nothing in it which is particularly more worthy than a lot of other games that I've seen.
Yeah, and it's funny because the other applications I noticed they're a lot more sort of, I guess, artsy in a way in their narrative design or what they want to be trying to present. Whereas as you said, this very much just feels gamey.
Yeah, like
But I
this
guess
is
that's the target.
almost the sort of thing that I would expect to get in the, when you buy, like back in the, I don't know, 90s, early 2000s, when you bought a console, you got a whole lot of pre-packaged games. This kind of
Yeah.
feels like that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely a market for this, like just as you said,
Sure,
as a
sure.
but speedrunning thing, like this feels like something that you could really hone into that like that fixated brain type to just get them playing forever, trying to get the perfect time.
I'm trying to wonder what the criteria was in funding this, because to me it just, I mean, were there just no competition this year? It just, to me, it doesn't have, there's really very little. It's competent, but I don't know. I mean, is it just me being elite or something? To me, it doesn't have what I would.
Well,
what
I don't think so. It's just opinions. Like I'm in the same opinion. This for me doesn't do it. for me in a way for a game, but I can appreciate the the mechanic design and what they're actually going for here. It is very well put together. Maybe what they did is they had this really flush demo out and art style established, and maybe having something that was so established already was how they got their grant. Who knows?
Other thoughts?
So maybe I'll stop it there on this one.
Just wondering what Fraser and Sam, what are your opinions on? Would you fund this yourself with your own money?
Yeah.
Okay. Very confident, Sam.
This,
Yeah.
I'm of a mind where I can sort of see how it was made, and it's in my view, it sort of feels like a slightly more fleshed out sort of capstone project type thing.
Yeah.
I feel like there's definitely a few more, bit more time. Oh, I guess you said, yeah, fleshed out capstone project. Absolutely. A lot of time put in it.
Fraser?
They
what do
seem
you-
to have a big amount of worlds and different characters to control from. For me, it's the lack of purpose, which I don't find in any sort of speedrunning event.
Yeah.
I think these sort of games, it kind of comes down to the skill expression at the high end.
Yeah.
If
Sure.
if your hardcore players can do really crazy things that anyone watching can go, oh my god, they were able to do that. I think that's kind of what makes or breaks this type of game. So, yeah, if I had the money, if I was choosing whether or not to invest, I guess it would come down to, are they able to show me that skill expression? And if I could see it, because right now I don't really see it, but this is 5 minutes.
I can jump in there
on the
and say,
demo, so
playing it, feeling it, like I can definitely feel that it's there in playing it. Like there's a lot
Yeah.
of nuance to the movement.
yeah. So I'm like, if a dev showed me some sick clip, I think that's what would sort of make or break it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, the art's cool. I was really excited for the narrative, like the idea, that logline was really had me hooked, and then it doesn't seem
Same.
to be
Yeah.
expressed much more than that, which is a shame. But again, it's a demo. Maybe they've got plans for that. So
Yeah. I feel like that's pretty vital though. Like it's a large part of, games is having some narrative. It's what engages a lot of people, but yeah.
This to me is
Alright.
very very retro. Yeah. Yes. And narrative was definitely wasn't the major part of games in the 80s and 90s. It was there,
No.
but it was just a wrap up
Yeah.
basically. And it does, very
Yeah.
much seems to fit that, and the Super Meat Boy kind of speed running, uber difficult. Yeah, which is interesting.
All right. Well, that was Nullstar Solace.
Okay.
nice.
Next one
It was
was
quite well. It was quite cohesive. All the elements, I think.
Yeah.
yes, yeah, I can agree there. I think that's what drew me to it. It felt complete in what it was trying to do. When a couple of others I looked at didn't quite feel that. This next one, Dungeon Breakers, doesn't seem to have much of a public-facing view at all. The screens were interesting, and it's available on their itch.io page. But other than that, the write-up of them were pretty small, other than they're one of the newer winners, or applicants. Made with Unity twice as well, just pointing that out there. Oh, okay, so it's using my controller. I don't want to use my controller. Can I just rip that out? And we'll have to restart it. Yep, okay, cool. So straight away, there's interesting art style. Got some cool shader effects on the trees.
The color of
Movement.
the buttons compared to the actual thing is awful. That's
Yeah, that's
what's going on there.
these work for sure.
Yeah. But I guess it was itch.io, so we're on a different platform. Steam and itch.io don't kind of have the same, I guess, expectations. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how far along these guys are in their project.
The artwork and everything looks good though. Let's yeah.
Yeah. Well, they got a lot of control for their graphics already. Okay. All right, let's see what this one's about.
Can we hear anything?
No, there's no audio coming through my side.
Got some
Nice.
shading.
Yeah.
Nice little bit of camera work. I do feel like a lot of smaller indie games don't focus on camera work. Okay, there's a tiny bit of oh wow. There's a tiny bit of audio for the text. That's all I can hear.
I have to say, I kind of like this already. This is already. Oh, things are getting on fire.
And Double Town's on fire.
Oh dear.
Wait, what?
Double Town's on fire. All right, we have a goal. Okay, 2.5D. We got a sprite. And attacks, little fighter.
Bit of a tutorial. Nice to see.
Yeah.
So we don't know how much funding these guys got, do we? We just know they did
No.
get some funding. Do we know whether it was early access or the you know the other one?
The was Nullstar early access.
No, this one was this this game. Did this get the $30,000 one or the $100,000?
Oh yeah.
We don't know
yeah.
that.
Okay,
Well, I wonder what they came to them with. Maybe they came to them with this demo.
Possibly.
It's a really nice blend of 2D and 3D.
Hmm.
Is there any other 2D elements, or it's just the character? It
It
is just the character.
reminds me of one of your games, Charlie, that your team did for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I was
weather-
disappointed you didn't
weather
go.
workout.
You didn't keep going with that one. I enjoyed that.
Look, I actually really did want to go with that one, but I
Yeah.
had a lot of other stuff on at the time, and my team, though they were talented, we all had a lot of stuff on actually, pretty much, and I couldn't get the commitment that I needed from everyone from it, so I was just like, let's
Okay.
just go with the easier
Okay.
one.
Well, wise decision.
But it is something in my mind, yeah.
Hmm.
Here we go. Dash. Was that a pause before the dash? Yep. A
that
dash
looks like
build up.
this is a games production fund recipient, so up to 100,000.
Okay.
Up to 100,000. Okay.
So
Some
are we
rats with
thinking
dynamite.
this is the demo they used to get that? Oh, nice.
So this was announced July this year
Oh, okay.
that they received funding. So
Okay.
they
So
would
this is
hope
probably
see
the demo. This would be probably the demo. If we're talking July, that's only September now.
I do like the responsive camera.
Yeah. The humor is simple, straightforward, and nice too. Like, stupid rats burnt down the bridge and they were supposed to be on the other side. Alright, bit of fighting.
Oh, let's go. Battlestar. Oh, I love it.
Oh, okay. Turn-based.
Oh, wow. Okay. Here we go.
Every turn you can move up to 4 tiles. The blue outline displays tiles you can move. Yep, you can see that. For now, move right next to an enemy and hit them with a melee attack. Alright. Don't have to choose, just click, click. Nope, you click move. Oh yeah, obvious. And then we can do our thing. We got showmanship. Try that
What-
next.
What do you do there? Do a little dance for him or something?
We'll find out.
Be an epic rap battle.
So after attack, the movement is limited. The icons. Basic slash, do it. End your turn when you're ready. Alright. Uh-oh, it's now the enemy's turn to attack. Make sure to guard. Okay. You want to press it right before an attack hits you. I've been seeing a lot of this crop up in turn-based combat, actually, adding these active elements. Whoop,
Oh, ow.
you got me. Alright, but I've got some showmanship. Young Bull can build up an adrenaline by using offensive skills or by taking damage. When you have 10 adrenaline, you can use it. Alright, I've only got 3. Next return, next... Hold. Oh, okay, that's nice. A little bit of more interaction there, which is nice. Not just clicking a button to activate. Okay. Ah, I keep doing that too early. Oh, I got it. Guard. Good old AoE again.
Hey. I like the effects and everything too. They look really good.
Yeah, the effects. Little animation at the end with the arms up. It's pretty good.
I'm a big fan of the wind wisps they've got. Those are cool.
Wind wisp. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Didn't
Great
notice
atmosphere
those,
effects.
yeah.
I noticed those in the menu. Alright, new weapons.
There's certainly a lot here. Like there's a lot.
Yeah,
of
I was about to say this
gameplay
feels like they've got lots of elements to it already. Do I want the spear? No, discard. Okay. And it says I can change weapons. Yeah, there we go. Oi. Oh, I gotta say I'm a big fan of the the gems currency to lead the way. There's just something so nostalgic about it.
Mm.
Like all the old sort of like Crash Bandicoot games I played or whatever, or other little adventures, there'd just be like gems leading you the way.
That's a
Alright.
nice water shader.
Ooh, Scorching Axe.
I have to say I'm liking this. I'm just liking this already. This has got my vote.
Yeah, I feel like this would be something. If I had funds, I would. If I saw this, I'd be like, okay, they're really onto something. They've got some skills with visuals, the shader stuff, the systems themselves. Like a nice little touch to the turn-based combat.
Yeah.
Health.
So I guess what you can say is they definitely are from the prototype. You can definitely see that. You can see the caliber of the team. Like you can see there's people who are developing it. They know what they're doing. They've got a good eye. The creative stuff. The gameplay is really good. The ideas are there. The design is there. So that's So what you can see in there, I think, is really important. It's a good way to think about. And I guess the other game was the same, a little bit different though. But like the essential elements were there, and the prototype shows that off.
Yeah.
Oh, no full damage.
Attack first before they spot you. Yeah, okay. Use a weapon 3 times but fully charged. Use a breaking blow. Special skills are super powerful. Okay. Move here. Enemy dropped weapons upon being defeated. Yes, we know that. It does feel like the pacing as well of the tutorial is baked well into this level. You know, a small thing, but an important thing. Can't get him. End turn.
So I wonder what
just-
they're Sorry, Fraser, you go.
I was gonna say, I'm interested to see what happens if you fail one of these enemy encounters. How they go about that.
Hey,
Just because
maybe
of
I'll-
the fact that your weapons take damage, you can be broken. You need to kill enemies to get new ones. Like if you respawn, do you respawn with the same weapons you had? Is there ways to change things up, or can you end up locked into a sort of a certain build?
Yeah, right. Well, they've got an unarmed option here, so they've definitely accounted for not having any weapons at some point. It would obviously just make it a lot harder. Let's give him a punch. Can I do the showmanship yet? No.
I want to see that dance.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm wondering is like, because this seems pretty substantial as far as what's there, gameplay, art, design. So I'm wondering, okay, so what's the finished game going to look like? Is it going to be more environments, more levels, different arts on different levels, more gameplay?
Yeah, true. I do want to say the camera work with the 2D sprites is a very nice and good choice, and it's an interesting way to solve some problems that I thought would arise with 2.5D, especially with sort of larger open areas.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually, your 2D game is your fixed view looking down in a certain direction. Say your view is heading north or something, and you're moving around into space. But the fact that this one like spins around and has these points that the camera moves around is a really nice little design for that, which I hadn't really thought of. But I guess I hadn't been up to the hadn't come to the challenge of it yet, because I've never attempted something like this. But yeah, that feels really fluid the way it moves around there.
I wonder how much work that was to make sure it felt that good. Like, I imagine that's going to take a good bit of time, and it's only once you're level. Well, you got to do some other levels in, prototyping, Greybox and Sage, and then you got to come back and really push it out once the sort of layout is decided.
Yeah, totally. Oh, so they've got a full map party relic system. There's a lot here.
So now we've got about another 15 minutes left to go. Do you want to check out
Alright.
the other one? Are we?
Yeah, the other one was a nice fast pace. We spoke about it in one of the other ones. Ooh, save game. I'll save and I'll play that later. It was Later Skater, which we didn't get to play. We just saw it. Another one of the I think this is not a recent one. Do you know, Fraser? Or?
I think this was recent.
Yeah, I think this was. I think I recall seeing it.
Pretty recent, yeah. So we looked at the Steam page last time, I remember, and there wasn't. This is pretty much the breadth of it. It's planned release this year. Cool.
Oh, okay.
So Later Skater was also announced to have received funding in July this year.
Okay, yep. Let's give it a go. Again with controller. Yep, okay.
Is this going to bring back sort of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater memories?
Yeah, I'm feeling what was that other one? Jet Set Radio Future? But I guess that's just anything with roller skates, hey? Oh.
Okay, we've got the 80s visuals. Okay.
Yep. Great commitment to the aesthetic straight off the bat, I'd say.
Yeah, very much so.
How's the I might turn the music down just a little bit.
Sure.
Oh. Which takes ages to turn down. Okay. Oh, master volume, that's probably what I wanted. Okay, that ought to be enough. Alright, well, should we go through the options actually? We got camera, invert, the general ones, some sensitivity. I'm always interested in demos, how much like they put into their settings menus, because really, is this very important for a demo? I guess it is because it depends on what people want to play. Like especially with this, your resolution, full screen, whatnot.
And in the
And audio,
application
obvious.
process, there's a highlight on accessibility. So I think one of the
Is there? Okay, so this would really mark that.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's try the new game. I was just loading screen, falling, the endless fall.
That's cool.
Hello. Who's there? It's you. You're talking to yourself. All right, I've gone mad. Guess again. Look over here. Look with the right thumbstick. All right. What are you, me? In a few years. See that thing over there? The question mark. That big floating pink question mark. It's a time stem. By pure coincidence, they look like question marks. But also happen to be points where our two different points in time connect, and we can talk to each other, okay? So skate over here, and we can keep talking. Move. Alrighty. Whoop. I thought it would
Hey.
auto-stop. Let's talk. Sure, we have a lot of questions. In fact, I know you do. I don't even know where to start. Should I keep reading these out, or should we just sort of blast through?
Blast through.
Blast through. So we're having talk, and there's some bad news, something fall. We got to skate our way back home. All right, and he's teaching us how to jump. All right, all of humanity from all history has been kidnapped by an army of robots. There we go. There's our narrative. Jump, right bumper. All right. So it's design-wise, it's like I do like the quick, sharp. You know, here's some silly points. This is why you're doing this. Get going. It's about the fun. You know, and it says that in the visuals of it as well, the music. You ready about double jumping? Let's go. Okay, he was definitely describing something. Double jump. Jump while I'm in midair. Easy. Is that a fire? Some logs? Let's have a look around the world. It's a nice contained little level, I guess. Whoop.
They must have done like a custom exponential fog.
Yeah. Oh yeah, actually. I think they would have. They've definitely got that their own custom shader overlaid the whole thing to make it look that retro feel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what you can see the post process.
Crash Test Spotter was pointing out the shadow dithering as well, which is interesting.
Shadow dithering.
Yeah, like in all the shaded areas, they're using
Yeah.
some sort of pattern.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, I get what he's saying now. Well, okay, yeah. So there's a difference between the two.
That's
That's
a cool way to sort of present shadow, especially with this heavily affected visual effects area.
Oh, there's some.
Oh, oh okay, wall jumps. Not gonna be able to get that though. Well, it feels really good, honestly. Like, oh. When I first saw these corners and that, I went, oh, this is probably going to be quite difficult to maneuver and control through. But they've definitely spent a lot of time on the physics of it. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, I've seen the dev.
I'm coming back from that one.
Oh no!
Oh, the
Quick
rewind. was cool.
recovery. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Very, what was it, Prince of Persia-esque.
Oh,
Whoa. Oh, struggling up the hill. Okay.
Making sure you stop to have a chat.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you doing? Why are you going uphill? Alright. Yeah, he's telling us how slow we go uphill. Got to build up speed, alright. It's actually funny, the the topic of it is pretty much exactly what we were saying. So I need a run up. I need a big run up. Which I assume... Oh. Am I even going to be able to get that from here? I got to jump for one. Oh, it's bringing me way back here. Okay. Oh, come on. I was pressing A to jump. That's why I was going wrong. Right bumper to jump. Keep the speed up. Oh, okay. That's okay. Now the difficulty is presenting itself in trying to get, I guess, the perfect line between these things. Because the higher I go up, the more speed I lose. I go really low. No, I can barely get on there. Alright.
Can you go straight from the other one instead of jumping on the second one? Oh. Maybe not.
So skip that middle one, let's try.
Yeah, go straight to the no, the other one. So go from here straight to the right hand one.
Oh, to the right when I have more speed. That might be
yeah.
What if I just go
Hey!
There we go.
I
Didn't
cheesed
even need to
it.
go up the hill.
Cheesed it.
They got all the funny little decals everywhere on the walls. Not sure what they mean. Alright, that looks like level.
Oh,
That feels
nice.
very Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
So
So
That's
ranked
cool.
timing systems. Well, this was the it's like they're really leaning into speed running, aren't they? I think I remember reading about it. It's very much the time trial style game.
I guess the
Ooh.
question out of the three that we've looked at today, each of which have received funding from Screen Australia. So what we're sort of looking at and interested in is, what it is that what it is that got them the funding. What would have singled these games out, say, from the ones. Unfortunately, we can't look at the ones who didn't get funding, but I'm kind of interested to.
Yeah, to see what the applicants all were.
Yeah. But obviously, look, this one and the previous one, there's a lot there, eh? Like, there's probably
Yeah.
more than I would have expected.
To me, it feels like each of them has their core gameplay down.
Definitely.
I can only imagine their application was sort of like, hey, don't you think, our gameplay is complete? We just need some money to make the rest of the game. With more levels, more art,
Yep.
and package it all together. So,
Yeah, for sure.
which is an interesting observation, especially when the Emerging Game Makers Fund is very much the idea is for very early concept stuff.
Yep.
I suppose these three are for specifically the Games Production Fund, which requires the game to have a demo. But I don't know. It's like, I'm glad these games got funding. They all look really cool. But if you kind of need, I worry what developers miss out because they don't have the initial funding to be able to make a demo to even apply in the first place.
Yeah. Well, I think following on what you said earlier, Chris, about how Screen Australia sort of originally just did sort of like art and film and theatre and stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe there isn't a lot of rhyme or reason to what's chosen in in these maybe early stages of the games industry grants. Like they're still sort of feeling out what they want to see and whatnot. So maybe it is sort of a hard ballpark to gauge. And coming to them with a big demo like this and applying for that production grant is probably a pretty surefire way to get it if you have your core mechanics and stuff planned out and you can really show that you have something and just need to build more.
That's the question: is what are they looking for? Are they looking for games that, yep, all we need to do is give them some money and then they just need a bit more runway and they'll finish? Is that what they're looking for? Because I was assuming, and maybe this is just from the Victorian fund that I've been looking at, that there'd need to be something specific about something specific that made it particularly Australian, like culturally Australian. Am I the only one who's thinking that, or?
From how
Well, I think a lot of them. Sorry, you continue.
Okay, sorry. The application, they talk about having cultural significance, but they also go to say it doesn't have to be Australiana. You just have to, you have to be invested in what it would mean for players to play it to some degree, if that makes any sense.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's code for we'll fund whatever we want to fund. We don't really care.
Yeah, it might be code for we don't know what we're doing as well. We've just got money and we want to see artistic projects.
Governments normally tend not to be like that. That's kind of why I'm a little surprised, I guess. Government funding tends to be a little bit more specific. So maybe we should look at some other ones as well. We have more of these, do we? We've looked at 3 today.
I think there was at least 2 more on that other list that we have. I can't remember what they were.
Yeah, so it'd be good. We don't have time this week. Obviously, it's 5 o'clock. Time to wrap things up, but I think it'd be really good to spend more time and go into a couple more and maybe do even a little bit more exploring, because it is, it is a really sort of important part of developing and designing games, because the money wise, this is part of the whole the whole thing of actually making games. You need to have funding. So yeah. And if you don't have funding, I mean, how do you go and design a game and like getting it, like how do you get your game to the stage that we just looked at? Because they look to me very well. Maybe not some of the first one a bit harder to see, but the second 2 seemed very very well developed. Like they looked like they certainly had more than $30,000 spent on them in as far as time and energy goes.
Yeah, I wonder how much of that time has been worked for free. Like I do recall quite a few people I talked to at PAX last year in the indie development on the floor there, how many of them, all their projects were, non-funded and they just work in between their actual jobs to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised at that.
Were you? Okay.
Well, not so much surprised, but like for some of them were pretty far along, some of them really weren't, and I wasn't surprised about those guys. But I thought there'd be more sort of funded projects. I guess personally, I just wanted them to be paid more because that's the route I'm going. I want to be paid for what I do, and not just have to go. All right, if I want my dream to come true, I've got to give every waking moment that I have for it.
Or find some other way to fund it.
Yeah.
Fraser, any thoughts? I mean, you're sort of going through this process, so I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's...
Yeah, I mean, our demo that we submitted feels quite less polished comparatively. So a little bit of that nervousness there, but also it's cool. I don't know. I love to see all sorts of games being made, and I'm glad that these have gotten funding, especially Later Skater is right up my alley for the type of feels very Mirror's Edgy, but with more flow,
Yeah.
so Yeah, I'm glad to see. I hope that the Australian government and state governments continue funding, and I want to see it expanded. I think.
Would you change anything after sort of looking at these? Obviously, you put an application in now. I mean, having seen 3 of these games, and we'll look at maybe a couple more next week. But at this point in time, would you change anything that you've done?
Yeah, and I think unfortunately it's sort of going back to the drawing board and finding something much smaller, something that we could knock out a compelling demo for, and then just use the funding to expand from there in terms of the content of it. Because I feel like Arvo has got quite an expansive sort of list of systems and mechanics that need working on, and so it's mostly just like, wow, it really feels like having a really compelling your core mechanics down pat is maybe the best way to get the funding.
Could I suggest that maybe Deep Climb had that?
Interesting. I hadn't crossed my mind. Now you've shaken everything up in my brain.
If I compare, it's a game that has a very strong gameplay core. I mean, I think you could probably compare. I mean, Charlie, you played it last week or the week before?
Yeah, last week. Week before. It definitely feels like the core mechanics are there. Yeah, I agree.
So maybe, I mean, how different would you say that is? Like, if you were, would something like Deep Climb be ready to apply for funding, or do you think it'd need more developing compared to what you played today? I guess is the question.
I think we could easily polish up Deep Climb in that sort of like 2-month application window, and I think it would fit. Assuming these demos that we played today were what were submitted for the application, I think it would fit much closer than the demo that we have for Deep Climb.
Charlie?
I think exactly what you said. Just a little bit more polish and it would pretty much be ready to go. Like, I think what I would do is get that little bit of narrative, like really build the mystery in your demo more so, because the mechanics there are good. And then to have it a bit more compelling for someone wanting to, to show them the longevity of the project that could be something, outside of just its mechanic itself, would be having that little narrative layer that we discussed when we played it. Yeah,
that's a good point.
There you go. So, Fraser, there's a bit of I don't know, critical feedback or something. Something to think about. Yeah, kind of interesting.
It makes me wonder if I can apply with Cafe Tactics.
Maybe.
It certainly gives me something to think about.
Yeah. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Like taking my capstone project a little bit further. Probably needs a bit of polish and a fair amount of bug fixes, but might be able to push it over the line for the next round of grants.
Are we all thinking the same thing? We're looking at the games we've done and like, oh, hang on, I could just do this little bit more and I could get $100,000 from Screen Australia. That's good.
Easy,
I mean,
right?
that's well. The thing is, I think it's how much you know. That's why it's good to look at these things. Like, if you don't know, if you've never looked at them, like if we hadn't looked at them, we wouldn't really know what the level was for that was sort of expected. But having looked at them now, I was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, if those games can get funded, well, why can't we? And also knowing, like the thing is, we might assume that we know what should get funded. Like I was assuming it should be something with some sort of cultural thing related to Australia. I was like, well, obviously not. Like, I don't think any of those games had anything particularly culturally relevant for Australia or anything at all. So it's just kind of interesting to look at that. Crash Test Battle sitting in Germany. We have Funny Games too, and there was a game that looked so horrible but still got funny. Yeah, that's a good question. Like, I have to admit, the first game, I don't know, why did that get funny? Maybe there was a fan of that type of game in the the team who were reviewing it. I'm not sure.
Well, it was very, cohesively presented. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like a safe bet.
Yeah.
A safe bet for what? For making money?
Getting some sales, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the back end, right? Like, there's a community that are very much into that game that I think it would sell well in. It doesn't seem like the type of game to sell well outside of that, though. So,
Sure.
If on the back end that you can see they're quite lean and they know exactly how to target them, I could see it being a really compelling safe bet in that sense.
Any final thought? Any other final thoughts? We've had final thoughts. Any other final thoughts? Any final thoughts? Final thoughts. We might look at another couple. The last two. I would very much like to see some of the others. Might actually spend a bit of time looking at the state-based ones as well. So Charlie, I mean, I don't know whether you've looked at the Victoria, because you're in Victoria.
Yeah.
So have you spent time looking at the Victorian the one as well?
No, I didn't realize there was sort of state ones.
Well, we might have a chat about that and sort of.
ScreenVic had basically a 1-for-1 copy of the Emerging Game Makers Fund. It's up to 30,000.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you can kind of go for both of them, which is cool.
Yeah. So they've got they've got a lot of stuff there. But we might look at some of those more. I think it's really useful. I think it's a very useful thing to do. So we'll carry on next week. Otherwise, let's wrap it up there, and we'll see everyone. Oh, we're not going to be back on Thursday next week because they're cutting the power off at my house. So we're back on Friday.
We
if
really
anyone
need
wants
that
to catch us.
grant funding. Just to pay the power bill.
I can't. No, this is they're doing something to the power. They're actually cutting it off the entire street, or 2 streets, I think, are getting their power off. So we won't be back next Thursday. It'll be Friday, I think, if everyone can make it. So we'll look forward to seeing you guys there and having more chats about game design. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Cheers, everyone. Catch you.
Thanks, everyone.
See ya.